So mine is called Project Rubber Duck for now. That's a working title. Probably not going to be the final one. But it's basically a concept similar to Leaping Bunny, but for clean beauty because I've been shopping a lot lately using apps like Think Dirty, seeing like all these different kind of brands having their own definitions. And I kind of was like, this is really confusing and it makes no sense. Some brands are saying, oh, we don't use, 30 ingredients, but 15 of them are actually really outdated and haven't been used for a long time because they're toxic. So they're kind of like a lot of fear mongering, a lot of just different things kind of going on that just don't make sense. So basically, the concept is a community for education for consumers to learn about products that are clean and what chemicals are bad and what chemicals really aren't, because some chemicals aren't bad. And it's also a place where companies can become certified. So this would be more of a business to business thing where companies can get certified, but then consumers also have a community where they can voice their opinions and educate themselves about the industry as a whole. And this concept really became important to me a few years ago because my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and the type of cancer she had is super rare, and they don't know exactly what causes it. It's not hormone based, it's not environmentally based. So we have been doing a lot of research and finding out a lot of just information over the past few years since she was diagnosed and treated. She's now in survivorship. But doing a lot of just research and finding out information about products that we're using, and just kind of I noticed that it just there's never a clear definition. So I had no idea what I wanted to do going into
Yeah.
Capstone. Um, and so one thing that's really cool we start off with is Professor Moore has us do a brand essence wheel where you basically come up with all of this stuff about your own like personal brand and what you want it to be, without even thinking about a product or a concept. So you kind of get that out, and then you have that as like a basis when you're looking to start what you want to do and you're thinking about it. So it really does just kind of come with your own experience because we are luckily still in a stage where we are consumers and marketers. We're kind of in that weird middle ground just because we're in the program, but we're still buying stuff and we're not working for a company yet. So for me, at least, it really just came out of what I'm passionate about. And that's really what matters, at least in my opinion, is if you are passionate about something, just go with it. Like if you're passionate about something, you will find that white space. And when you do, it just clicks, um so that would be my advice with that, is find something you're passionate about and just research it, base it, go into like Ulta or Sephora, go into a store and look at it. I was in Sephora when I got the idea. Like I was in Sephora and I was like, okay, well, is this clean? And then I was like, that's my capstone. So that would be my advice for that. It's been crazy. It kind of just starts. So you start with that like brand essence wheel in class, and then from there you kind of go into you start with like a category. So when I, sorry, she kind of talks to us like about like categories we're interested in, and my initial one was like, okay, I really want to go into clean beauty because for me it's not just like a trend; it's like it is health and safety for me. Um, and so you do a category review, and that also helps you develop your white space because for me at least, like you do a category review and you kind of just go through everything. So I went into why clean beauty works, people who aren't into clean beauty and who are like against it. People argue that it's actually not good for you. um, and then you also have like I did a lot of research on the environment and how beauty impacts that and how that can be changed. I did a lot of research on Leaping Bunny, Beauty Counter, things like that. And then that's kind of where that idea started to mold, where I was like, okay, well, Leaping Bunny, I'm reading their about, and it's saying that brands had their own definitions of cruelty free, and these eight animal cruelty organizations, um, grouped together to make Leaping Bunny. So I kind of was like, that would be a cool idea. Like, I wonder if there was one of those. But then I was also looking at like a Glossier, and I was like, oh, what if it was like also a community where people could talk about things and learn and, you know, be part of that decision. Like brands can also see what these people are talking about and, get their inspiration and changes directly from the consumer. So that's kind of where like it started. And then after that, you kind of go into the product brief where you so for me, I don't necessarily have a specific product. Mine is the certification. And this is all very, one thing that Professor Moore is really gonna like just kind of repeat over and over, and thank God she does, is don't picture an actual product in your head no matter what you're doing, because it's going to change a million times. And it's already changed. Mine has already changed like 4 times, and it's probably going to change another 4 or 5 times, and that's fine. That's just how it goes. So then you start doing like a product brief. So for mine, at least, what I did is like, okay, here's what kind of ideas for the logo. I would want it to be on these. This is where I would kind of want it on the back of the packaging if a brand chooses to buy the logo. So that's my product, is the logo and the certification. So if they choose to, feature that certification on their website, what would that potentially look like? So then when I present my idea to an industrial designer or a UX designer, they can say, okay, here's my professional like opinion, and this is what I think it should look like. So I'm not telling them how to do it. I'm telling them the guidelines, and then they're going to create what they're good at. So it kind of just goes like that. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Now we're working on more of like the marketing of it and what we want the marketing to kind of sound, look, and feel like. And then, since from there, we're going to have like whoever on our team in advertising is going to tell us what that should look like. So it kind of is really just it takes a team. But that's kind of where we're at right now. And then I know in Capstone 2 is when we're going to go into like actually developing the product. And that's when like industrial designers and advertisers are actually going to come into the process. So I'm like so excited for that. I think I'm most excited about creating something that's going to help people. Because it's I have friends, and this is part of where my idea came from, was I have friends who and family and people who come to me. So my mom actually works in the breast cancer office she was treated at now, where even her doctors, or even doctors like her, are friends with her now, and they'll be like, hey Taylor, like, what do you know about this product? Because they know I'm into beauty products. And that's kind of where I got this, that's kind of where it started, where I was like, you know what, that's kind of what got the gears turning, where my mom was texting me like, hey, do you know if this brand is a good brand? Like, should we be using this? And I kind of was like, they don't even know, because it's just so confusing. Because you've got Think Dirty telling me that this product is a 10 out of 10 on the danger scale because there's a fragrance in it, but maybe that fragrance isn't so bad. And, Beauty Counter's telling me that it's not bad, but then Sephora's telling me that it is, but then Ulta's telling me that it's not. So what's the answer? So I think what I'm most excited about is just there being like a clear definition. Like, there just needs to be a definition. And I think helping people be more like be able to understand that more. And I honestly think also it really comes down to, this is a male dominated industry where men are telling women what to put on their bodies and put on their faces. And at least for me, that's not what makeup's about.